I'm in love with the Dune Popcorn Bucket. I mean, who isn't? So I decided the world needs more of them. That's why I took some of the biggest movies of 2024 and designed them their very own Dune Popcorn Bucket. Of course, when I was designing these buckets, I never thought any of them would actually become real, but just you wait till you see my last design. So starting off with Despicable Me 4, I took the basic black bucket base of the Dune Popcorn Bucket, and I was going to make it a little bit more Minion themed, maybe a yellow bucket with some blue overalls and a Gru symbol, and then maybe even a Gru face protruding out of the top. But I ultimately decided to scrap that idea altogether in favor of a actual Minion popcorn bucket. And this Minion popcorn bucket would be life size to the real size of a Minion, which would be roughly the same size as a small child. I mean, look at this thing sitting in these people's lap. Imagine how much popcorn this baby could hold. And of course, to access that popcorn, you would just reach into this small little hole on the front of the Minion. Very conveniently placed, right for your popcorn grabbing needs. And for a couple of dollars more, you could buy a banana cup to fill with some soda. And also, for an extra fee, you could get the grippy teeth on the opening of your Minion popcorn bucket for that extra grippy experience. Oh yeah. Now, for the Garfield movie, I was thinking, what does Garfield really love? Lasagna, of course, so I was going to make a popcorn bucket shaped like lasagna, so you could be pretending to eat Garfield's favorite food while you're snacking and watching his new movie. But I think I came up with something even better. How about a Garfield popcorn bucket? Basically the same size as a cat. Again, look at this sitting in people's lap. It's going to hold so much popcorn. And to access that popcorn, once again, you're going to have to reach into the backside or rear entry of Garfield. Pretty easy experience. I mean, a little bit challenging with the grippy teeth, but you can really shove your fist in there and grab a handful of popcorn. And of course, if you know Garfield, you know he hates Mondays. So I'm going to program this popcorn bucket with a little metal door on the inside of the opening. And whenever it senses that it is currently Monday, that metal door shuts right down. Just be extra careful that you don't have your fingers in the opening when that metal door comes down on a Monday, because, well, it's not going to be pretty. Look, the Dune Popcorn Bucket was so successful that there was no way at least one of these movies wouldn't make their own version. So it should be no surprise that the last movie I made a bucket for made my design a real thing. But first, let me show you my design for a Godzilla x Kong popcorn bucket. We've kind of been following a pattern here, so it should be no surprise that I decided the bucket for this movie should be a giant Godzilla. Of course, it's not life-size, because that would just be too impractical. But this thing is still huge. I mean, look at this guy carrying Godzilla. Imagine how much popcorn could fit in this thing. Now, the popcorn will be situated in Godzilla's stomach as such. Now, to reach your popcorn, you're going to have to shove your fist or something down Godzilla's throat to reach the popcorn. And of course, like the other buckets, for an extra fee, you can make this bucket have grippy teeth to give it that more challenging aspect. But don't worry, Kong fans, I didn't forget about you, because you can also get a Kong hand drink holder. I mean, you could be carrying Godzilla in one arm and holding your Coke like King Kong would in the other. Of course, this hand doesn't only have to hold soda, it can hold anything. Anything. Now, this last movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, is possibly the movie of the year, which makes it so much cooler that my design for this movie's popcorn bucket became a real thing. Let's get into it. So again, I started with that basic black bucket base from the Dune Popcorn Bucket, and I was gonna just do this, cool design I saw from the poster of the friendship necklaces of Deadpool and Wolverine, with that Deadpool and Wolverine logo, of course. And on top, instead of a sandworm, we're going to get Deadpool's head, his decapitated head, because of course, you can do that to Deadpool and he can still be alive. And to reach your popcorn, you're just going to have to shove whatever down his mouth and grab a handful of buttery goodness. And of course, again, for an extra fee, you can add that grippy teeth for a more challenging experience. Now, when I created this design a couple months ago, imagine my surprise when just yesterday they revealed the actual popcorn bucket for this new movie. I'm not kidding. This is the actual thing. It is basically my design, but Wolverine's head instead of Deadpool. I mean, look at this thing. It's even got that basic black base bucket on the bottom. I mean, I'm a little disappointed by what they did here because, I think they could have gone a little bit more naughty with it, especially a better design on the bucket. But, as someone who created their own giant head popcorn bucket, I appreciate it. My only concern is that this opening looks a little too big. I'm glad they added a little tongue in there. That's kind of funny, but I'm really hoping that for an extra fee, you can buy some grippy teeth for this thing because this looks like too easy of an opportunity to grab some popcorn. It needs to be a challenge. I mean, I could put both of my hands down this hole. I need something smaller. Comment down below which bucket was your favorite, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace. Poof.